Hello everyone, welcome to the Storyist. Some parents believe that the secret to good parenting is letting their children have whatever they want, so that when the time comes, their children will have no grudge over them, or something bad to say to them in return. Most parents who are too busy making a living that they lose valuable time to be with their kids are using this trick as well to replace the time they're losing with their children. They think that showering them with gifts, material things, and raising them with the mindset that they can get whatever they want may make busy parents feel like they're compensating for the moments they're supposed to be spending with their children, but are working instead. However, giving children everything they want in life always has a downside. And this is what today's story will teach us. I will be sharing with you the story of a mother who lets her daughter do whatever she wants, and she lives to regret it. Stay until the end of the video to see what happens. Nigel is a single mother. Since her husband passed away a few years ago, succumbing to a car accident, she has been solely responsible for raising her one and only daughter, Clara. Clara is now a teenager, 16 years of age to be precise. She has grown up to be a beautiful maiden, and most of her features are gotten from her father, making her father's memory live beyond his years. This is also the reason why Nigel has been very protective of Clara ever since her husband died. She reminds her of every single thing about her father, and she is like the living embodiment of him. Whenever Clara smiles, her father's memory is being brought back to Nigel's eyes. Since then, it has been Nigel's ultimate goal to do whatever it takes to keep her daughter Clara happy. But there is where she goes wrong. Nigel works at an accounting firm. She has a pretty decent job, and she earns just enough for her and her teenage daughter to get by every day. She knows to herself that she can't afford luxuries in her life, not with her only source of income. When her husband was still with them, they used to go on weekend vacations, go shopping inside malls every day, and occasionally grace luxurious restaurants for a hearty family dinner. Her husband was an architect, who was earning a huge sum of money, which helped them sustain a somewhat lavish lifestyle, which Clara loved. However, since her husband has passed away, they can't afford any weekend getaways anymore, not eat in fancy restaurants, or constantly go shopping inside malls. She can barely make it to pay their new apartment's rent, which is way smaller and way cheaper than the apartment they used to rent when their family was still complete. But money is not her only worry. She is also worried that Clara might miss their old lifestyle and demand her for more. Demand her for something she can't afford. She knows the time will come when Clara will miss their lavish spending, and she is thinking of ways now on how she can earn extra money. One day, her greatest fear started to cast its shadow upon her. It is Clara's 17th birthday, and she is about to go to a fancy restaurant with her friends. She walks down the stairs wearing a thin satin dress and high-heeled strap-ons. "Hey honey, happy birthday! You look gorgeous," Nigel says to Clara. Clara smiles at her and kisses her on the cheek. Nigel gives her a box with a ribbon tied around it. Clara's eyes are suddenly painted with utter excitement, and she immediately tears the box open. When she sees what is inside, her wide smile suddenly disappears. "A book? Seriously, Mom?" Clara says in disbelief. "Yes, I thought that would be of good use for you. Besides, you liked Shakespeare when you were younger," Nigel says in enthusiasm and excitement. But Clara doesn't buy it. "No one likes Shakespeare anymore, Mom. It's 2021. And besides, I asked for a new phone on my birthday," Clara exclaims. Nigel is surprised at her daughter's tone, but she doesn't want to fully disappoint her on her birthday. "Your old phone is still working. That's why I decided to buy you a book instead," Nigel calmly replies. But Clara is not satisfied with her answer. "I can't believe you just did this on my birthday," Clara says and storms off. Before she leaves, she looks back at her mother and holds out her hand. "Your credit card, please," Clara says in a bored tone. Nigel looks at her in disbelief. When Clara sees her shocked look, she reminds her of her promise. "You promised me to do whatever and buy whichever I want on my birthday, right?" Clara says. Nigel remembers the night she promised this to her daughter, and she regrets even saying it. That night, they were supposed to go out for a fancy dinner because it was her husband's supposed birthday. But since she was working double shifts to earn extra, she was not able to go to their dinner reservation, and instead, she just bought takeout. Clara was so furious and disappointed at her that night, saying that she couldn't keep a promise. Afraid that she'll despise her forever, she promised to let her use her credit card for whatever she wants on her birthday. Remembering this, Nigel just slaps her palm on her face. She hesitantly gives her credit card to Clara and reminds her over and over while ushering her out the door to not do anything crazy. The night goes on like normal. Nigel can't sleep early, knowing that Clara is still out, so she just watches the television instead. At around 5 in the morning, as soon as the sun starts rising, Clara also comes home, drunk, wasted, and reeks of alcohol. Nigel doesn't say a word against her because she doesn't want to upset her only daughter. Instead, she bathes her, changes her clothes, and puts her upstairs to bed. The following week, the credit card bill comes to their mail. Nigel is so surprised to see everything on the list. Some of them are items that she thinks are not possible to be their own spending. So she calls the credit card company. Unfortunately, the company confirms to Nigel that all the things listed are indeed spent using her credit card. When Clara walks downstairs, she confronts her immediately. "Clara, why do we have this huge bill on the night of your birthday?" Nigel asks. "Oh, that? I rented a big table for me and my friends during that night. And I also treated them to lots of steak, wine, and caviar. It was delicious," Clara replies excitedly. Nigel is experiencing goosebumps while hearing her daughter's words. "Steak and wine? I haven't even tasted caviar in years. And you treat your friends to all of those?" she says hopelessly. "It's my birthday. You said I can do whatever I want," Clara says in defense. Nigel just lets it go, knowing that she won't win anyway. "How about those tons of alcohol you ordered? Who were those for?" Nigel asks again. "We had a party at my friend's house and all of us drank it there," Clara replies in an uninterested tone. She is not taking this seriously, and this outrages Nigel. "Clara, it seems you don't understand the value of money. Do you even know how many months I'll have to skip meals just to pay for all these things you ate and drank in just one night?" Nigel asks. But halfway through her sentence, she realizes that it's her fault too. She raised her daughter believing that she can have everything in life, not showing her the importance of money. She looks at the bill again and sees a Chanel bag that costs $500. "A Chanel bag? Really?" Nigel says. Clara just looks at her like she already knows the answer. "It's your new birthday gift. Remember, I didn't like the first gift you gave me, so I bought something I like with your money. So now you have a new gift," Clara says. This pulls Nigel's last straw. She hides her credit card and tells Clara that she is no longer getting an allowance for her, so she has to work for money all by herself. "You won't realize the value of money until you work to earn it yourself," she says to her daughter and leaves the house. She goes straight to her husband's grave and apologizes for how things turned out. Her husband has always reminded her of her spoiled treatment of their daughter, and she never listened. Now, all her spoiling and pampering are pointing back at her. She knows it will be hard for Clara, but she has to learn a lesson. And to learn a lesson, she has to start somewhere. It might be long before Clara realizes her acts, but Nigel knows she will regret raising her like she did for a lifetime. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on the next.